Hi, how y'all doing? It is Monday, March 31st, about 5:45 p.m. as of recording this video. Yes, I am drinking coffee at this time of day. Leave me alone. No, I have not just woken up, even though I may look like it with my consistent bed head that apparently is not very flattering to some. I have been up since 7:20 this morning is when I woke up. Fell asleep last night around 2:30. I do not sleep well, and I have very little energy. The energy reserves that I did have before all this mess started, last year, seem to have not returned. I apologize for that noise in the background. My laundry room is right off my kitchen, and my dryer is going. I would dry my clothes via a clothesline. I grew up doing that, and I have no problem doing that at all. But I don't have the energy to go out and hang clothes. And the last couple days, Florida weather has been doing Florida things. It's sunny, clear blue skies. 10 minutes later, it's a hurricane. So I ended up not doing my weekend laundry till this morning, and now it's in the dryer, and now it's going to take me about a week to get it all upstairs and put away. I wanted to thank everyone for all of those lovely comments, those great comments, kind comments you left for Joey on that last video we did Saturday. He really enjoyed it. Got a real kick out of it. He was bursting with pride when he started reading them, and I said, "Oh, you got a new comment," and he would run over and want to read it. It was good. Thank you. As far as my stove, got it pushed back into place, plugged back up yesterday morning, and the door lock popped as everything said it would. I am I'm not happy that it does not have a mechanical manual door lock. It is electronic only, and I am halfway considering disabling it, since I don't have small children in my house, and Joey is very smart and careful and knows not to mess with it, because Murphy's Law. I always say he seems to love my ass. He camps out on my shoulder. What can go wrong will go wrong, and electronically controlled mechanisms have a tendency to fail. In my luck, it would fail in lock position, and I not be able to get it open even if I unplug it and plug it back in. Cooktop works fine. Oven came on, did what it was supposed to do. Filters are fine. Air filter, charcoal filter. I did change them. I think I dated it August of 23. One thing that I did notice is after I cut the heat off from the oven, the cooling fan did not seem to pulse like it's supposed to help move the heat around and help the heat to dissipate faster. And I think that is what the problem was. Got an issue with the cooling fan. A number of things could cause it. My eyes are not nowhere near good enough for me to use a voltmeter to figure out what's wrong with it. So I'm gonna probably have to get my dad to help me do that. Worst come to worst, I need to replace the cooling fan. I haven't looked yet to see if one is available. I've got to find the model number on this thing. It's 11 years old now, almost 11 years old. So just like cars and with all things nowadays, the industry at large does not like you to repair vehicles and appliances. They prefer you to, if not outright replace the machine in question, to replace the individual parts. But I have noticed that it is much more difficult to get parts for things like appliances and lawnmowers, especially the more modern ones. Because again, they don't want you to fix it, they just want you to buy a new one. And that is not something that I want to do, not something I can do. My ex-wife, picked all this shit out when we bought the house. Pardon my French. She picked out the stove, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, the disposer unit. She picked all that crap out. I did not need a refrigerator with a computer controller. I did not need a oven with a computer controller, but it was new and fancy back then, and that's what she wanted. So she bought it. We bought it. She bought it. She picked it out, had it all delivered, and I installed everything. Shocked the shit out of myself wiring up that dishwasher. And it was because the cord that came with it was, I don't remember what was wrong with it. It was not the right cord. I don't know why it wasn't wired up to begin with, but I had to wire it up and got a nice juicy little electro bite. But that was 2014. I was end of 2014, early 2015. I was not having all the issues that I have now. Got a little profanity out of me, and I figured out what was wrong. Called Lowe's on it. They provided the right stuff, the right cord, whatnot, no charge, so it wasn't a big deal. I don't need all this computer controlled crap, I'm perfectly fine with an old-fashioned oven with a thermostat, and whatnot. I don't need this. If I was to replace this oven, I would try to find an older style oven. But if it's just the cooling fan, I'm going to try to get that fixed or try to replace it. And, if the motor's burned up, worst case scenario, I just replace it. We'll see. Right now, I don't need it. I don't bake all that often. Joey wanted spaghetti and meatballs this weekend, it was a serious splurge for me to get stuff to make homemade spaghetti and meatballs. I did not make the meatballs. I got frozen meatballs. I am not proficient enough to make homemade meatballs. But I still like to, bake them. But I don't do a whole lot of baking. A great value pizza for Joey every now and again. I occasionally will splurge on a tin of biscuits or cinnamon rolls for him. But I don't do a lot of baking, so it's not a big deal. The cooktop works fine. I got a little cast iron frying pan, and whenever I cook, it's usually with that. But so that's that's holding. It's not an issue right now. Minor inconvenience that I'll get worked out as time goes. Have not heard anything back from Rescue Guy. I don't want to drop his name because it's a very unique name for this part of the world. He was born and raised here, but I think his parents or his grandparents were not, and they gave him a name from the old country, so it's very unique here, and I don't know if he wants his name used in any of my videos, so I just call him Rescue Guy. Have not heard from him regarding Annabelle, so hopefully she's doing good with the lady's cats and will not be coming back. I miss her. I miss both the puppies. They were so sweet and lovable, but just way too much for me right now. In every facet, way too much for me to handle right now. Way too much for me to try to maintain, and I do not have the money to do that. I couldn't even afford to feed them, long term. So those couple donations that I got that day that I made that video about them helped out a lot. And they ate like hell. They went through 2 bags of puppy chow in the time that I had them. God, they could eat. But hopefully everything goes good with them, and they have loving, caring, and able forever homes. I spoke with a gentleman that adopted the white dog Precious. Very nice elderly gentleman, and I got a good feeling about him, and I think that I didn't get to speak with the lady that adopted Annabelle, but if Rescue Guy feels okay, then I feel okay, because he's a good guy and he knows what he's doing. I between yesterday and today reclaimed, for the most part, the 15 feet or so of porch that I gave them with the high pressure wand that I have for my garden hose. I have never before seen puppy poop turn into concrete, and that's what theirs did. It was they would poop, and within a couple of hours it was like concrete, and it was not removable with my regular garden hose attachment, but I've got a high pressure wand that works, and it cut it up and blasted it off. I have left what I did to prevent them from escaping, the general structure of the pen that Joey and I put together, intact, just in case, after about a week Annabelle does come back. I'm going to call Rescue Guy closer to the weekend and see if he's heard anything. And I guess after a week or so, if there haven't been any issues, then I can dismantle it and just have my porch back. Put my rocking chair back where I normally keep it, to the other side of the front door. So that's it as far as the dogs. Somebody asked me the other day how I'm getting around right after surgery, so I thought I would mention that. It was the surgery was same day surgery and up and walking that same day. I was able to use my cane a couple of hours after I got back to my room to walk to the bathroom in the room in the hospital, and no real restrictions from the doctor. He said, walk as you can, assisted, which means an assisted device, a cane, using furniture, walls. Definitely don't try to get up and do any parkour. I always loved parkour, free running. Tried to get into it when I was a little younger, but could do it a little bit, but I think I was always just too big. All that stuff was way more challenging for me than, a smaller, leaner guy. No attempts at parkour right now, no running, but walk around, get up, move around, because he lengthened the Achilles tendon on my right ankle, and he lengthened the calf muscle on my left leg. And when they do that, they don't want you to get sedentary, because they want the lengthening process to hold as throughout the healing process. I don't know exactly what all is involved, the details of it. I don't know if the anchor point is changed. I'm not sure how that works. I need to ask him more about that, or research it a little bit. But you don't want your muscles your tendons to get tight, as they heal. You want them to stay loose and flexible, so that, it doesn't, the healing process doesn't negate the procedure itself. So you want to be up and walking around right away as much as you can. I don't walk around as much as I was before the surgery. My balance is totally gone. I cannot stand still. If I try to stand still, I will fall over. And the closest thing I can do to standing still is I do this little front and back cha-cha motion to stay vertical. But once I start stepping, I'm pretty good. I have to use the counters, furniture, whatnot, and my cane in the house, where before I didn't have to. Hopefully when the cast comes off, I won't need to do that anymore. I'll have some semblance of balance back. There is a fair amount of pain. It's not intolerable. I did get, I was given a 3 days worth of pain pills because, I had surgery on both legs and I'm up and walking. But I have not taken them because I've had Joey the entire time since my surgery. Tuesday night, I didn't have him. I didn't have him Tuesday night. I didn't have him Tuesday night. Didn't have him Wednesday night. But I couldn't get the pain pills until Wednesday, and I wasn't hurting bad enough to waste one. And I got, the pain was worse throughout the weekend. As it went, it got worse. But I didn't want to take them and sleep too good while Joey was here, because he's got his breathing issue with his tonsils. I've said before, pain is something, unfortunately, that I am used to. I'm well acquainted with it, and it doesn't bother me all that much. I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy. It is what it is. I'm a hard-headed Polak. I got a high tolerance for pain. So I only take them, you know, at night when it's just bothering me too much to get any rest. I take them so that, you know, the pain will back off enough for me to get some sleep. I already don't sleep good. Don't sleep long, you know, 4 or 5 hours usually. Sometimes less, rarely a little more. Probably gonna take one tonight though, because it's been constant, and not sure if it'll ebb off once I lay down. We'll see. But other than that, things aren't too bad, you know. It's looking more and more like the forbearance is not going to be an option, because even though I've gotten conflicting reports from Rocket Mortgage, it does seem like everything I find that you have a certain amount of time to clear off the outstanding debt before time runs out, and you're on the hook for the entire amount of the outstanding debt right now. And if you can't pay it, then they can fast track you to just taking it. So I'm probably not going to finish the process to apply for the forbearance with Rocket Mortgage, and next step is bankruptcy. My mortgage payment will be due tomorrow on the 1st of the month, but they can't categorize it as late until the 15th. So I've got 2 weeks to figure out if bankruptcy is going to work, and get that process started before Rocket wants to start the foreclosure process. And then if for whatever reason bankruptcy can't work, won't work, doesn't work, then the only thing I have left to do is to try to fight the foreclosure. That will be my last stand, the last stand of old-fashioned Joe. And in the event that that's what happens, I've got a chance of winning a foreclosure case and keeping my house, and, you know, Rocket Mortgage being compelled to, you know, reduce their interest payments, the amount of their interest that they get because of my health. Ironically, I may end up in the position where the very thing that is threatening my life and livelihood may be the only thing that ends up possibly saving my house. Irony, man. But then again, I may not, you know. It may come to a point of, well, you know, this is the deal that you signed, and yeah, you know, it sucks that your health is in this position, and that your life is like this, but, you know, life's hard. And if that's what happens, I don't know what else to do, but, you know, just accept it. Because if I lose the foreclosure case, then, you know, they're going to take it. That's done. And at that point, I guess I won't have any choice but to give up. I don't give up, you know, it's not in my nature, but at the same time, I know that sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you fight. Sometimes you just can't win, and that may be where I'm headed. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a hard-headed Pollock, and I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight to the last, and see what we'll see. I'd like for it not to get to that point. I'd like for the bankruptcy to work and get my, be able to get the mortgage current and then refinance and get the interest down a little bit. They talk about all these options that there are, for them to help, but there's never an option to reduce your mortgage payments a little bit, in times of financial strife, in times of health crisis. There's never an option to pay a little bit less than what you're currently paying, even for a year or two. They could reduce my monthly payments, $300-400 a month for a couple of years, and it wouldn't hurt them. They wouldn't lose that much money. I mean, if I pay the minimum payment on my mortgage for the next 40 years, they're going to make more than double what they gave me for the loan. They're playing the long game. They don't need, to force me into this corner, especially when I'm able and willing to pay, and just not quite what they want right now. I don't know. It sucks, but life's hard. Come to the end of my allotted time on this camera. Thank you all for continuing to follow along. Thank you so much for your kindness on that last video. If you would like to donate, GoFundMe will be in the description. If not, that's okay, I understand. Hope you all had a great weekend, and that so far the week is good to you. And I'll jump back on here probably tomorrow afternoon after my doctor's appointment and let y'all know what's going on there. Have a good one.